tell me the conditions that you're seeing in al-Shifa hospital.
The condition is a disaster. It's horrific. There's a lot of people taking shelter in the hospital, thousands of people in the hospital, and they blocking everywhere, the corridors and the street of the hospital. They don't have anywhere to go. The numbers can't be managed. They are desperate for any place to take shelter or safe place. They know that Shifa Hospital is not the safest place, and they might be hit by what happened in Mahmudani or Baptist Hospital, but they don't have anywhere to go else. So other than that, they have many now. By the crowding in the corridors, there is no room or no air to breathe. There is no ventilation, no oxygen comes in. So there is a possible spread of infection there. For instance, me and my colleagues have some sort of symptoms of like this flu, maybe just a flu, but we are afraid of the worst. Maybe cholera are spreading now because the bad hygiene, the unrepaired prepared hospital capacity buildings for this kind of crowding and this number of people inside. Other than that, talking about the injuries, there is a lot of injuries in the hospital. Thousands of injured people. We can't evacuate people after doing surgery. We don't have the access to OT to do surgery to many cases. About maybe 100 in our department alone needs surgery to close the wounds and do skin graft, flap, and to cover any infected wound or exposed bone. So we have this dilemma to deal with. We can't be able to solve it. Um, so a lot of people in there. We don't have many supplies. We can't bring everyone to OT. After finishing or doing surgery to these injured patients, we can't evacuate them from their beds because they don't have any home or any houses to go. Most of them have been their home have been destroyed, so they don't have any place to go, and they refuse to go in the street of the hospital. So it's a big dilemma. It's so hard, you can't imagine it, and no one can imagine. It has never been like this. The internet connection and the mobile coverage is down because of the number of people and of targeting of some coverage units or mobile units around the hospital. So a lot of shortage of medical supplies. We do dressing twice or three times a week instead of daily dressing. We do minimal intervention, so under local anesthesia or in bedside, because we don't have access to OT. The OT is always occupied by the emergency or the fresh injured. The vascular and the orthopedic are doing maybe hundreds of surgeries every day. It seems like it's in this point. We, as much as we can clear from the hospital, we can't get them away, and we always have new injuries enter the hospital. So it's endless point. We are collapsing. If we didn't already collapse, we are trying to manage our department, but at the least of its capacity or the capability. Actually, one of our colleagues, a plastic surgeon and reconstructive surgeon, he was killed in an airstrike about 1 week ago while he was going home from the hospital.
What is his name?
Evacuated. His name is Dr. Midhat Saydam. He was a senior plastic surgeon. He was killed about 1 week ago. We received the news in the early morning. We didn't believe that. But after checking, he was dead, and it was thought that his family was with him But luckily, his wife and his two childs survived. We almost collapsed because of the news, and when received this news, we were so frustrated and so desperate, because he was for about maybe 14 or 15 years of service in the department. He was one of the main surgeons in the department, and yeah, he was a big loss for us emotionally, and kind of logistically, and kind of technically, he was a big loss. Two of our main surgeons also evacuated from Gaza City because they don't have anywhere to go and no shelter. They moved to the south and can't seem to get any help or safe transportation to bring them to help us. One of our colleagues also had his home destroyed, whole building with 5 maybe floors, with his extended family, but rebuilt. He is evacuating now to other relatives' houses. The burden on the hospital and the injuries are so difficult to deal with, and so impossible to deal with. We are trying to provide as much as we can, but we know it's not enough. It's not even near of enough, and we don't know how to deal with patients. Recently, 2 or 3 of our inpatient individuals died from sepsis and malnutrition due to lack of antibiotics and lack of staff to observe them. We have like maybe the double of the number of beds in the department, in extra beds in the corridors. We can't deal with this number. We don't have any staff in the OT. We were working 3 doctors, one technician of anesthesia, who were trying to provide anesthesia to patients, and we were taking place, one doing surgery, one cleaning the room, one bringing the supplies and open the instruments. We had one pharmacist in the OT helping us. He doesn't know any. He has no experience in the OT, but he is now helping us because we don't have anyone can provide any service in our department due to the lack of staff in the other OTs. They don't send any other one. So it is so difficult here, so bad, so ugly. We can't seem to handle this anymore. As I said, we are trying our best, but it's not enough. It's not needed enough.
Dr. Mohamed, I saw a picture that Dr. Ghassan Abusika tweeted of, it says, vinegar from the corner shop to treat Pseudomonas bacterial wound infections. It has come to that. Can you explain?
Yes, actually, Pseudomonas hospital-acquired infection that spread when there is no good infection control protocols or service, as you see with this disastrous situation. So Pseudomonas is very bad for wounds, and it's spreading in every patient, almost every patient. According to what we do usually, we provide antibiotic to these patients with Pseudomonas infection. We give colistin, we give cephalosporin, we give a lot of antibiotic that is usually available in the ordinary times. As we don't have any of these, we try to provide vinegar. Vinegar is one of the maybe the other way to treat this kind of infection, or just to decrease the number of bacteria. It is used by many ancient doctors, and it is sometimes helpful, but it's not enough. It is just another way to overcome the lack of antibiotic, but it's not even enough.
And how long can the hospital even operate at this critical condition? I mean, between the doctors being killed, the exhaustion, and the lack of supplies. I mean, at what point is the hospital not able to do anything?
Well, we are trying to. I don't know. We have reached this point that we don't provide the half of the optimal or the needed medical care. As I said, we are trying to our max to deal with these patients and to provide help, maybe saving some life. We are putting priority. We are making triage, even not even in the ER or the emergency department. We are doing triage in the patient inside the department. We are picking up the patients that will have crucial circumstances or consequence if they don't have surgery. We pick up life-threatening patients, so we provide any medical help or surgery. At this point, we are not even the maybe 20th of the efficiency of that needed to deal with these mass casualties. Every day is another a different day. Today, for example, we don't have enough orthopedic surgeon. One of our colleague came to our department to help, so I could take a half a day of leaving the hospital, so I can wash myself, take a bath, maybe get some rest, and go again to continue my work. Every day is another day. Every day was with the certain circumstances. Today, while I'm doing the medical round around in the hospital, two of the main department of the hospital have no water, no, not a drop of water. So I asked them since when this started. They said 2 days ago. This is a disaster. You don't have water. I'm talking about bad bad water, not healthy water to drink. It's just for maybe washing our hands, maybe providing any social wash for the and not the convenient one. It's just water for to wash your hands after seeing patient or dealing with any patient. So the disaster in water and the situation with water has started since 2 weeks ago, maybe less or more. We didn't have any healthy water to drink, but now we don't have any, even the bad water.
What about any of the aid convoys that came in? Is that helping the hospital at all? Any of these supplies?
Well, let me tell you something then. If you have like a big fire, a house put on fire, and you have a bottle of water, what would you do if you throw this bottle of water on the fire?
Nothing.
Nothing. And this is how we look at these aids. It is a good hope that it will keep coming, but at this point, this doesn't provide any hope to treat the situation or treat patient in this point. The medical aid may be enough for maybe one hospital, maybe provide medical aids to in certain portion or kind of way, but not all the ways. Plus, if it doesn't keep going in, it is not gonna solve anything. It is just maybe for media, maybe for to decrease the voices talking about the shortage of medical supplies. It is not what we want, not even close. We hope that the pressure will continue to bring more supplies, more medical supplies, and more food, more sanitation, more water. Maybe put pressure to bring water like before into Gaza. But at this point, this is not enough. Not enough.
And this is obviously this war on Gaza is much worse than previous wars. I mean, you've been in the hospital in 2021 and in other times when it was absolutely horrible conditions and beyond anything the hospital, beyond the capacity. But this is much worse. Um, Maybe you can describe that, the difference compared to the previous times. And then the other question I have is about, there are so many dead bodies, more than 4,000 people killed to this point, and there's no space. I saw videos of mass graves with bulldozers covering these graves. Are where can you even put the bodies at this point?
Well, at first, I've been in the hospital doing my work during the 2021 war or aggression, during to 2014 aggression and 2012 aggression. So this is not, it can't be compared to anything before in every way. I remember in 2014 when it lasted about 51 days. We had maybe 3 or 4 massacres, huge casualties, mass casualties coming to the department. I was shocked at that time that we couldn't handle the numbers. I started to step in between the body parts, the dead men, the children who lost a hand, who lost a leg. In that point, I thought that that's the end of the world, and I was in a panic, and I freezed for a moment, and then I put myself together and started to deal with these patients. But now, every hour, maybe every day, we had this mass casualties and this situation every day. Every day we deal with mass casualty, 15 to 14 to 40 injuries comes in the same time. We try to triage these people. We are taking a hit after a hit. This doesn't end. The massacres are now the media are dealing with like it's a small number now. When they listen now to like 40 dead to 40 killed, they don't recognize the number. Last time it reached about 600 maybe plus of dead in the Baptist hospital. And it is increasing. The massacres is increasing in size, in inhumanity, in the cruciality. So, in any way, we can't compare this war to any war in maybe any war, any place in the world. The children, the number of children is horrific. It's unbelievable. We deal with children with many all type of injuries. We can't cover their wounds. The burn is unbelievable in this aggression, because most of the injuries are including burn by more than 50 or 60% of the body surface area, and these kind of injuries need a lot of medical attention, a lot of medical care, a lot of surgeries, serial of surgeries. We do debridement, and then do a serial dressing under GA. We do after that skin grafting, and we continue to do surgery afterward. In normal situation, 50 plus or 60 plus % of body surface area doesn't have much hope in living, and they need also medical care and support and nutrition. This is not available now. This is not available at the minimum. We don't have any access to OT to bring the patient again and again to provide the optimal medical care. So it's a lot to handle. It's a very much it's a big disaster happening in the Shifa hospital. We are tired. We don't have any light in the end of that road, but we are keep working, because we have to work with these innocent people. We have to provide medical care as long as we can, at least saving the minimal or the as much as we can from these people. But to compare it again with anything before, it is not possible. The numbers are huge.
And in terms of where are these bodies being stored? Of course, the morgues are overflowing. I've seen videos of ice cream trucks filled with bodies, and then mass graves. When you have casualties, when you have people die, where are you putting? Where can you put them?
Well, to be honest, I don't know the plan of that and how exactly do the hospital manage this. But I see the places for dead people, and coffins are in front of the ER. They don't have much space in the morgue, so they bring the mass casualties, and many of them are unknown. Because a lot of complete families are wiped out from the records. And when you have this whole family coming in the ER, they don't have any names, don't have anyone who can recognize them. Sometimes they are late to confirm the names, the identity, but sometimes they are buried unknown.
And I've seen, I saw there are a lot of children who they don't know what happened to the families. Probably the families were killed in a massacre, and maybe the baby or the child survives. How much of this are you seeing?
Oh, many, awful, a lot of number. We have actually our colleague Dr. Mohamed Dabur, who had been killed while he marching into the south, evacuating from the north, and he was killed during the airstrike on the people who were traveling or moving to the south seeking shelter after the instruction to move south. So he was killed, and his wife and his two children were brought to the hospital. Our hospital. We are dealing with them. Today morning, I saw his wife. She had an external fixator for her completely open fracture wounds in left lower limb. All the limb have fracture and open wounds. She have a terrible condition concerning the bone and the skin covering it, and she needs of surgeries. His sibling, his daughter, having an open area or a raw area in her leg, loss of skin and fracture in her leg. So these kind of situation we face every day. We see these stories every day. We deal with on daily basis. We can't seem to have any kind of providing social emotional support. We couldn't provide because the disaster is above imagination. Uh, we sometimes thinking of our beloved. We sometimes freezes while we think this might happen to anyone, any relative one, our families. I can see my father and my brother because they are in the south, and luckily for me, my mother and my sister is abroad, and they are shaking of afraid of frighting every day, trying to get any news about from us. I don't have internet connection to provide this for them, and to keep saying that I'm safe, trying to make them chill a little bit. But the stories are a lot. We every day see patients, children, especially children, who were extracted from under the rubble. They say this is the last of his family. This child doesn't have anyone to care to take home, or no home to go back to it. No one of his family member now is near or can recognize him, or can reach him. So it's a lot. It's a lot of stories here.
Wow. And Dr. Mohammed, who is Dr. Suleiman Tarazi? Who was he? I see on your Instagram, he was martyred.
Yeah. Actually, he's a friend and he's a dentist. He's one of my close friends. I know I've been knowing him for a long time. He's one of the brilliant dentists and orthodontist in Gaza. He has a big center for providing big service, and one of the rarest specialty in Gaza. Uh, uh, he was killed during the massacre on the airstrike on the church in the Orthodox Church in Gaza 2 nights ago. His wife was injured. She has a spine fracture. She has a mandibular or jaw fracture. She couldn't have surgery, definitive surgery, as it's not possible to bring her for this major surgery. So they just do the temporary surgery for her. She have multiple wounds and fracture in her pelvis. She's still alive, thank God. Alhamdulillah, she's alive now. His son was extracted from under the rubble while he was protecting him in between his arms. That's where we knew that he was killed, or he died. At that moment, I couldn't believe it, and I received the news of him that no one was brought killed, but the news was that he is in critical care, a critical condition, and then we received this thing about from the survivor from this massacre. So they told us that he was under the rubble, dead, holding his son in between his arms.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, actually, I'm not afraid of being killed or being targeted. I'm afraid the most of losing any beloved one. I can't handle this. I've already lost many friends, many relatives, many people around, and I work with, or I see every day. I accept the idea of being killed during my work or trying to provide help for innocent people, but I can't imagine the idea of seeing any of my family or my beloved one being hurt or killed. That's it.